Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Chief Beere. I want to start by recognizing the outstanding work of the women and men of the Oakland Police Department. Our officers have worked tirelessly to identify and arrest members of two Sureño gangs believed to be responsible for 34 homicides across the Bay Area, including 24 here in Oakland. This group was highly active, engaging in robberies, narcotics trafficking, firearms trafficking, to include assaults as well as other shootings. The investigation is still ongoing, but it's been going on for several years now. Started in December 2016, all the way through to November 2023. In addition to the 24 Oakland homicides, we believe that they're connected to multiple shootings that have occurred since November of 2023. Yesterday, Oakland police officers working alongside Alameda County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, and the U.S. Marshals served 10 search warrants. 8 locations were in Oakland, 1 in Modesto, and 1 in Stockton. The coordinated operations led to the arrest of 8 suspects. In total, we identified 12 suspects connected to these crimes. 8 were arrested yesterday, 2 were previously taken into custody. 2 remain outstanding, and we continue our efforts into locating them and arresting them and bringing them to justice. We are grateful for the U.S. Attorney's Office, which has federally charged 9 of the suspects. 3 additional suspects are facing state charges. During the course of the investigation yesterday, when we did our enforcement operation, we relocated 2 firearms linked to these suspects. It should be noted, though, throughout these investigations for the last several years, we've recovered dozens of firearms. I want again to thank our law enforcement partners for their collaboration and the women and men of the Oakland Police Department for their commitment to justice. Your efforts have made our community safer and continue to make it safe. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
Were there any tangible charges other than the guns that you guys are charging them as part of the crime code?
Yes, on the state side, we're charging them for attempted murder as well as conspiracy. And then the federal charges, they released a news statement yesterday with regards to their charges.
And Chief, are there similar enforcement actions or a similar amount of violence with, let's say, the Sureño side of this all, or is it all Sureño driven?
There has been violence from both sides. I will say that this group has been very active. The violence was not just contained to the Norteños or other rival gangs. There was violence occurred between this group themselves internally as well as related groups. The shootings have been across the board throughout our community, extremely dangerous. It's put our entire community at risk. The shootings were brazen, sometimes during broad daylight, at crowded parties at night, in parks, on streets, and in homes. We've even had violence associated with this groups that have occurred within churches, as well as other like baby celebrations and things like that.
And it wasn't just shootings, but there was drugs. Can you elaborate more about the totality of the crimes involved in all this?
Serious felony assaults include beatings with baseball bats, stabbings, pistol whippings. It was a very well organized crew that has connections throughout the state of California to include locations overseas. You're talking about narcotics trafficking, as well as firearms being brought up into our community and sold throughout that were used in crimes related from robberies to murders.
And this is all tied to the Mexican cartel as well, correct?
It's tied to several different organized groups that are involved in organized crime.
Were there any shooting victims that were not related to either gangs?
There were shooting victims related to multiple different gangs, not just the Sureños that were listed in the affidavit, but also the Border Brothers, the Norteños, as well as victims of robberies, victims of personal disputes.
And then there was the aspect of the shooting that happened in Richmond that was tied to one of the people arrested?
We're not going to talk about it outside agency. Need to reach out to them. Henry.
If you don't mind repeating, did you say 24 or 34 homicides? How many
So there's been 31 homicides linked to this crew, 24 of which occurred here in Oakland.
And going back to which year?
2016.
Just for clarification, you said related to gangs overseas. Do you mean in Central America or Europe, Asia? One part. The other thing, my understanding is they were arraigned today. Do you have an update on that? Yeah.
So currently, we're discussing the 3 cases that are presented to the DA's office on the state level charges. But regards to the federal charges, I'll have to refer you to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Chief, to what degree is this group responsible, or groups responsible, for some of the violence that Oakland has seen over the last several years? And if they are behind that, have they been effectively put out of business?
They have greatly contributed to the violence within our community, specifically here in the city of Oakland. We have seen a reduction of shootings to include murders related to this group. I would say that the investigations are ongoing. We are still focusing on making additional arrests, and we're still looking at crimes that occurred previously in the past. I would warn anyone that's engaging in this type of activity, to include anyone associated with this group, that we're likely going to track you down and arrest you. We've not finished. This case is not done. There will be more arrests.
You said this has gone back to 2018. I understand it takes a lot to gather facts or whatnot, but that's 6, 7, 8 years to put this all together. Can you maybe explain why it's taking so long, especially if the crimes have been so violent?
So it started in 2016 is where we saw the biggest increase of violence related to this group. This is not the first time we conducted enforcement operations. Throughout this time, there's been arrests previously. Other members of this group or associates of this group have been arrested from charges for murder, firearms possession, shootings, stabbings. We've served several search warrants in Oakland, recovered dozens of firearms related to them. There's been some of these cases outside of what occurred yesterday, and the individuals that were taken into custody yesterday have still cases that are going through the court system. So this is a lot more elaborate than just one operation that occurred yesterday, if that makes sense.
Harry?
The ones you said you presented to the Alameda County DAs, are they some of the same people arrested yesterday?
Those 3 are the ones we're referring to, were involved in the most recent operation that culminated with the search warrant services yesterday. There's been others throughout the last several years that have been charged.
2 from 2019, but these 3 other cases are the size of 2019 cases.
That's correct.
And the guns that you retrieved, were those in connection with the search warrants on Coloma?
So the 2 firearms I discussed earlier are related to the search warrant services that occurred yesterday.
On Coloma.
Different addresses.
Would this be, I know that OPD doesn't work with ICE or anything like that, but would some of these characters that are from overseas or from other countries, would they be qualified for possibly deportation as well?
So we do not cooperate with ICE.
Right.
Their immigration status is no concern to us. What's a concern to us is that they victimize members of our community. That's the concern for us. That's what we investigated. We did not inquire into their immigration status, and we're going to hold them accountable for the crimes they committed within our city.
2 more questions, William.
Do you believe that any of these arrests that happen are potentially the leader of the gangs?
We do believe that the arrests that were made yesterday are people that are significantly involved and are driving the majority of the violence that has occurred. As stated before, this investigation has been ongoing for several years. There were arrests previously where we do know people were instrumental in organizing this gang, as well as strategies and the implementation of their criminal activity.
In regards to strategies, were they going actively recruiting young people in high school campuses?
I would say that they were actively recruiting throughout the community. It was not uncommon for them to work together as a large group to commit robberies within our city streets. The ages range from teenagers to adults.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.